It's absurdity in RPG font. Tycho Brahe's behind creased cardboard, but you don't pull up chairs for humor, do you? You shouldn't miss this guy Cthulhu. He shakes a stone as Light Eldritch, compelling you, the viewers, to hit the merch store. 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 Walnut's Grove is gone, which sucks for a druid. Plus mail is strong, but nuts wise into it. Sigils on the cave wall stabbed like daggers. She took wolf form and she howled aloud. She bit at Cthulhu and she snapped her snout. And by her instincts led you to the merch store. Hit the merch store. Hit the merch store. Hit the merch store. Hit the merch store. Rosa, she's shopped there before. All her grandkids get gifts from this store. Little halflings with their kingpins playing footloose. I've seen them picnic beneath the stars, wearing their bright dark magic scarves. It's a one-stop shop for birthdays at the merch store. Hit the merch store. Hit the merch store. Hit the merch store. Hit the merch store.
Denard's a paladin, dragonborn, who treats everybody else with scorn. But you know that they all deserve it, don't you? He gains entitlement from bits, or so Jerry claims, so I guess it fits. And they both expect you all to hit the merch store.
Hit the merch store. Hit the merch store. Hit the merch store. Hit the merch store. Maybe there are gods beyond whose tendrils shift their waking pawns, but Jerry kinda seems like he has got this. Except the times when the phones light up and ideas arise, then outright erupt, and Jerry's gone, volcanic cursed Rothfuss. What now, Rothfuss? Come on, Rothfuss. Ignore Rothfuss. Gosh darn Rothfuss. Dang it, Rothfuss. My game, Rothfuss. Go home, Rothfuss.
Shut up,
Rothfuss. Flippin' Rothfuss. Let's not do this. Hit the merch store. Hit the merch store. The summer is past, but your days keep growing longer. There's no wind in your sails, but the storm's blowing stronger. Walking hard, standing tall, keeping your head up through it all. Fighting fires, spinning plates. Goodness, how did it get so late? Lay your head down and dream. Lay your head down and dream. Lay your head down and dream. Lay your head down. let your mind flow downstream.
Sprawled out in a moonbeam. Lay your head down and dream.
Joe Hills is filmed before a live streaming audience.
That's us! Howdy, y'all. Joe Hills here, recording as I always do in Nashville, Tennessee. And I am very quietly putting the hot in the hot bar down here in slot 9. And meanwhile, you are very quietly my live streaming audience. I'm just kidding. I don't know how loud you are. You might be like on a train, being like the train engineer going, "Wah! Wah!" And I'm just like, wow, I didn't know you had a train. That's genuinely impressive. I wonder where you got that train. Anyway, I hope you're having a fantastic evening. Wow, I am out of energy today. Today was my dad's birthday party, which we hosted here in my apartment. And so all day yesterday and most of the day today was spent preparing for his birthday, except for the time I spent trying to get my next episode of HermitCraft together. And I ran into some sort of weird edge case with Bobby Mod, where for some reason, some of the chunks that I cached yesterday weren't accepted by Replay Mod. And I'm not sure why. So I'm flying around and I'm doing a little bit of recaching manually in hopes that that fixes it. Also, I've only got 15 more rockets, so I really need to find a portal so that we can get back to an area that, well, okay. Well, luckily we can see those chunks in the distance there that we loaded earlier. That's helpful. I also turned the render distance way up so I could more easily see which chunks haven't been cached, because that's, good to do. But yeah, no, I had this really dramatic sweeping shot around the pinball machine I was working on, and boy, did it completely fail in a way that I can't understand. So the troubleshooting part of the stream title is that we are troubleshooting some weird stuff with Bobby Mod today. ZB says, why are we being quiet? I am out of energy. I put so much energy into making sure that my dad had a good birthday, and spoiler alert, he did. So that was arguably worthwhile. I'm going to talk more at length in the next few episodes. I've been thinking a lot about parenting lately, and I'm trying to do well by my daughter. And my parents tried to do well by us, myself and my siblings. But boy, they made a lot of naive errors. Not like lazy mistakes. Like, because you can make certain mistakes by being lazy and being like, that's probably good enough. But no, they deeply overcommitted to certain things in ways that horribly inconvenienced them for 20 years. And it's kind of been a wash. And it's like I'm inspired by how hard they worked for us, but I also see how the failures of their understanding of the world let everybody down. And I'm trying to do better for my kid. But once again, that's not a slam on my parents. They made genuine, real sacrifices for a very long time. They were very deeply committed to trying to do what was best for us. But it just wasn't quite aligned with reality. Because the world is always changing, and it's always changing in ways we can't be ready for. And I'm trying very, very hard to be more adaptive as a parent. But one thing I'm running into is that I'm looking at it and I'm going like, man, my kid might just be like, wow, my dad tried really hard and made completely different mistakes from his parents, but boy, there sure were a lot of mistakes there. It might be unavoidable. I don't know. But I feel like I owe it to my parents, if I'm hosting a birthday party for one of them, to really put a lot of effort into it, you know? And so I did, and now I'm exhausted. So this is going to be a 1-hour stream. The other thing, like I said, really exhausted me is when I hit a weird technical glitch that I can't quite pin down. There's something bizarre going on with the way Replay Mod and Bobby Mod are interacting, where files that or chunk files that should have been cached were working in general, but not working in Replay Mod. And so I found that recaching them seems to help, but I haven't had the time to recache all of them. So we're kind of doing a quick flyby here in hopes of maybe saving my episode. It's especially hard with the episode because now that Cleo's point of view of the episode is already out, it doesn't matter about getting it done on time. I've already missed my deadline for the embargo date. Now at this point, I just want the episode to look good. And I'm looking at these renders in Replay Mod from earlier, and I'm like, these don't look good. These are clearly broken, and I need to figure out how to fix them. Okay, we are down to 1 rocket left. I have no idea where I am in relation to my base, and I refuse to open the better coordinates F3 mod. Okay. Because in theory, if we stop anywhere long enough and think, we should be able to see... I've got this jacked way up on the view distance. If we just stand here, chunks should be loading in. In the meantime, just as a quick reminder, this is a viewer-supported stream. Tips are welcome via paypal.me/JoeHills and YouTube Super Chat. Yeah, you can't tell, but I'm also not properly dressed for tonight. I can't figure out where my tank top went, which is really annoying because this isn't that large an apartment, and I spent the whole day basically cleaning it before the party. So if my tank top was literally anywhere, I should have found it already. But yeah, so did not wear my tank top. Stephanie Hall says, good parents do the best they can with what they have and what they know. You learn from your mistake, and your child will learn from yours. Doesn't make you a bad parent as long as you teach your child to learn from mistakes. So here's the thing, though, is I'm less worried about being a bad parent than being an ineffective parent. I know that I'm working hard, and I know I'm trying my best. So I'm not, like, ethically, like, am I a good parent? I'm like, yeah, I'm a good parent ethically. But the question remains, am I an effective parent? I would like very deeply to be, because, yeah. That's its own whole thing. Got an email from my kid's school today. They email us every Sunday. They're like, hey, here's some stuff going on this week you might want to be aware of. They're just like, hey, just so you know, there's a 4 p.m. anti-gun protest at the Capitol for elementary school students. And I'm like, oh, that's interesting. And they're like, please don't let your kid walk out of the elementary school as part of the 10 a.m. citywide protest where they're marching on the Capitol. Because while that might be still undesirable but relatively safe for high school students to walk out of class at 10 a.m. and march on the Capitol, we'd really prefer if you took your kid down there at 4 p.m., just after school, as a treat. Our teachers are not equipped to deal with a bunch of 5 through 11-year-olds walking several miles to the Capitol. So, I don't know, maybe have a talk with them about that and promise you'll take them after school if they don't leave. And this is not the sort of email we usually get on Sunday. Usually they're like, don't forget, we got pajama day on Friday. Send your kid in their snazziest pajamas. was. Report cards are going out next week. Don't forget to sign those and get those back in. Not like, hey, don't let your 10-year-old wander off at 10 a.m. If they want to march on the Capitol, you should bring them yourself at 4, just as a fun thing. Here's a meetup.com event about the 4 p.m. one. I was just like, oh boy. I saw the Rubicon back there, but I didn't realize we had crossed it. I thought we were just running alongside. Okay. So that's something. Wild days here in Tennessee. People are really excited about the Jungle Temple. Of everything going on in the stream so far, I could see why. That is very exciting. Okay, so we're going to keep wandering back this way because we don't have any fireworks. But I'm pretty sure there's like a portal somewhere out this way. Wow, the sand loading in is like this visually trippy effect. I don't know if that's showing up on stream. Also, the game is running at like 3 frames a second at this view distance. Sinister. Yeah, you know what? If your job is that bad, just find another way. Yeah. You can't let these folks waste your life. You just need to stand up for yourself and find something better. And sometimes that's hard. Sometimes you might have to lean on family and friends for a place to crash for a few weeks. But, you know, it's not worth putting up with a bad boss. So good luck to you, Sinister. Okay. So, somewhere over here, I think there's a portal. If we're in the area, I think we're in. There should be a portal somewhere. This is not the optimal way to get home, but we can glide this way. Yeah, you know what? I didn't find the portal, but... Welcome, Half Moon Knight. What do I know? Not enough, Sam. I did pass a couple of portals. Yeah, but those other portals weren't on the network. I don't want to... So, here's the thing. Is out here, I can use the water to elytra with my trident. If I go into the nether and there's a portal that's not on the portal network, and it's just in the middle of the nether on, like, a lava island, I can't fly in the nether with my trident. Yeah, those portals in the sky are not necessarily connected to the, what do you call it? The tunnels? Okay, if I go this way, I should end up back home. Fly, fly away, Joe Hales. Fly, fly away. I'll fly by, la da 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 da. Fly, fly away. With the frame rate this low and the render distance this far, it feels like I'm going very slowly. Video settings, render, extras, show FPS. Apply. 18 FPS. Yeah, not great. Not great at this render distance. But at this render distance, I can really see where the glitches are. So, you know, that's visually important. I really don't want to land on this island, because this island will be covered with creepers. How are we doing on elytra? I did bring 2 elytra. We are going to swap to a secondary elytra to continue our troubleshooting. Have a good night, Nico and Indy. Can I ask another hermit, please, to sleep? No, that's rude. Let's go ahead and swap that out. That doesn't make me fall, does it? No. Wow, that's amazing. What are we troubleshooting? We had a problem where Bobby Mod's cache isn't handing off to replay mod clearly. Everything we flew over yesterday did not go in the cache correctly. And I'm not sure why. So we are retrying some things so we can set up a render for my next episode. Where am I heading? Back to my pinball machine, which should pop in any chunk now. Yep, any chunk. Yeah, we spent like, I don't know, 8 stacks of rockets yesterday, and none of those chunks are properly cached. And the thing is, they look like they're properly cached when I fly around in game, but when I try to load them in replay mod, they work on the live server, but not in replay mod, and I can't figure out why. But I've determined that flying through them a second time makes them work with replay mod, which is suboptimal, to say the very least, but solvable. So, here we go. Da-da-da-da. La-da-da-da-da. Do-do-do-do-do. Ba-bum-bum-ba-bum. Do-do-do-do. Do-do-do-do. Yeah, so there's Cleo's base. So my base isn't that far now. Just keep loading some chunks. Badger Diggs says, that 1-minute video really makes me appreciate just how massive the pinball machine is. It really dwarfs everything around it. The problem is, that was supposed to be like an understatement, and then the video was going to end with a much more climactic shot, which completely broke. I can't figure out why it didn't work, and I'm trying to fix that now. How many times have I got lost at sea while trying to find my pinball machine? I don't think any. I always know where I'm going. See, there's the pinball machine now. It's loading in. You can see the galaxies and stuff. Okay. See? Pinball machine. Next problem. What's a good FPS? Quake. I would recommend Quake. I mean, Doom is the original FPS. They didn't actually have the term first-person shooter until years after Doom came out. For a long, long time, any sort of first-person shooter was just called a Doom clone. That was the name of the genre, was Doom clone. So, we're gonna, now that we're gonna see if those chunks, we're gonna do some shorter chunk caching attempts. Jimmy and Kindleless, kindred spirits, both say Wolfenstein 3D got there first. Look, I'm not in charge of what genres are called. If I was me, I would call mystery stories Sherlocklets. But I'm not, so I don't get to decide what Sherlocklets are called. Okay. So we're back in replay mod here. This is promising. We're testing some problems with Bobby mod. Okay. So we're just going to render a quick 10-second thing. Okay, so we're going to add, so that's going to be 18 seconds in. And we're going to have the view switch to there. We're going to try rendering 10 seconds of footage here. We don't need it at the full resolution. 1080 by 1920. No. 1920 by 1080. Yes. Render. Let's keep the date in there. That's going to be good. And then we'll call that dash test distance A1. Save, render. Sister says, I only watch Korean Mumbo and sometimes Impulse, but your streams are always so calm. Oh, look at that. That's terrible. We forgot to set the render distance properly. It's rendering at 32. I was like, how did that start so fast? Cancel rendering. Are you sure? Yeah. Okay. So we're going to go out here again. Video settings, render distance 160. 159 is close enough. And save A2. We're going to do the same render, but a slightly redone version. Whew. This is what we expected to happen. It has to load all the chunks in before it renders the first frame. And we've made peace with that. Sinister says, gotta go back to work in 5 minutes. Well, good news. It'll be about 5 minutes until this renders the first frame, so you won't miss anything. Danny W says, Tiny Joe is tiny. Yeah, we're currently 20 away from our first face camera expansion milestone. I'm wearing the wrong clothes. The room is a mess, so it's just as well if nobody wants to tip tonight. It's fine. But if you do want to tip tonight and witness my failure, tips are welcome via paypal.me/JoeHills and YouTube Super Chat. Okay. We're going to keep an eye on the activity manager and the task manager. And CPU sorting by... Okay, Java is currently using 0% CPU. So that means it either already crashed or it hasn't started loading the chunks yet. Oh boy, I love that the camera isn't really good, so I can just keep moving around awkwardly. It could just hang here, folks. Could just hang on this Mojang screen forever. We'll never know. Mima Sweets, tipping with a currency I've literally never seen before. What the heck is that? CRC 500 to USD. Costa Rican Colon. So that's $1 US, or 1 US Abacus bead as we call them here. Thank you, Mima Sweets. That puts us 19 away from the next face camera expansion milestone. I haven't been to Costa Rica, but now that I got a passport, do you recommend it? Is that a good place to visit? I've heard good things in the past, but like I know since COVID, a lot of things have changed everywhere. Like Hawaii still doesn't want people visiting. They're like, we have too many problems. Stop touristing. Let us fix everything on our own first. We have enough money. What we don't have is time and space to fix our problems. Please go home. Okay. So, yeah. The lack of CPU usage and GPU usage by Minecraft is really deeply disconcerting. This might have crashed entirely. Sister says, isn't Costa Rica part of U.S. territory, though? Yes, unlike Hawaii, famously a separate country with their own ruler. Okay. This is the hardest part of doing these replay renders, is I can't tell yet if it crashed or if it's just preparing to run. And on some level, I'm like, okay, well, it looks like it's broken. I should just kill the thing. Boy. I feel like it should be like trying to use memory at least. Where's Java in this list? If we sort by name. Okay. Java is neither using CPU nor memory. Yeah, I think that's a crash. I think that's an actual crash. So we're going to restart Minecraft like professionals. Okay, now we're just setting up the stream. Yep, definitely had a memory error there. Okay, so that was too many chunks. We flew too close to the sun, everybody. Gonna turn it down. Jimmy, I was using Task Manager. That was literally what I was doing. The problem is it stops doing stuff for a few seconds to a few minutes as part of its spin up on the render sometimes, and you can't tell if it's still spinning up the render or if it actually crashed easily until it actually just disappears off the Task Manager memory usage. Okay. Ba-da-da-da-da-da-da. So we're waiting for it to recache or reload that replay file. So I can't tell if all of the crashes are part of what corrupted part of the chunk cache in the first place. That's the wrong file. Dang it. I need to reload that list. Okay. So we're going to set our view distance to 120, 130. 130 seems fine. Then we're going to hit render, A3, save. So this is where it's like it might be hanging, but maybe it's not. We don't know yet. Hey, Tricky, thank you for tipping 19, who says, being awesome as always. Yes, you are, Tricky. Thank you so much. Please direct your attention down here to where slot 9 would be so I can say, howdy, y'all. Crow Hills here, expanded as I always do in Nashville, Tennessee. Dee-da-dee-da-dee. Dee-da-dee-da-dee-dee-dee. Technical difficulties. Woo. That's what we're troubleshooting. Woo. Okay. So if we look at Task Manager this time, we sort by CPU usage, we scroll up. Okay, Java is using a static amount of memory and no CPU. But it's at least still showing up on the list. If I had to guess, it's because it hasn't hit the memory allocation limit yet. I don't know if Joe Hill has a drowned worm. That's Stephen King's son. You can ask him yourself. Hey, Ginger Bee, you haven't missed much. We're mostly looking at things and trying to go, has this actually crashed, or does it just take this long to get started? Because it's a mystery. It's a mystery to everyone. I don't even know if I'm in frame. I don't think I am. Okay. I'm in the spinny chair, because since I rearranged the room, I don't have anywhere to put the spinny chair. I don't know what to do. It can't leave the room, because the door is occluded by the bookshelf. Mima says, can you do a smaller clip as a test? This is the smaller clip. This is 728 frames. This is a tiny test clip. Compared, we would be doing something like 12 times longer to 20 times longer for the actual clip. This is a very small test clip. Does the pause button still work? The pause button never worked, as far as I know. It used to be if you click the pause button, it would crash the render, and then Minecraft would crash. I don't know why that button's in there, but it should be called Crash Minecraft. The pause button has never worked, as far as I know, in Replay Mod. So the cancel rendering button does work. It's like there's basically two buttons that cancel rendering. One of them cancels it in a nice way and closes off the file so you can open it. It's just truncated to how far you got in the render. And the other one catastrophically destroys everything in its path. We put a table in front of the window, Quill. So spinning chair can't go there. I don't know if we're ready to cancel yet. I think we need to see if it's going to work. Oh, you're saying cancel and Alt F4. Like, oh yeah, one of them is basically the Alt F4 button. Yeah, that's about right. Hey, Sammy. We're doing some technical troubleshooting here. It's going poorly. Or not. We can't tell. Because sometimes this silently crashes and sometimes it just takes several minutes to render. We're trying to render a test to see if I fixed it. It does not look like I fixed it so far. But maybe it just needs to sit for 10 minutes. We don't know. Show preview only helps after the first frame is rendered. We're on frames rendered 0. Well, go lay your head down and dream, Ginger Bee. I mean, I'm looking at this and I'm thinking maybe we need to record a new segment. Maybe because it crashed the first time, we're not going to be able to get a good render out of this, so we're going to close the program. Let's log in again for like 15, 20 seconds and try and do a new render of that. I really need a 1-minute render, but whatever. Where's my stopwatch on my watch? A stopwatch feature, doodle-a-doo. That's timers. Alarms. Okay. So we're going to go into Minecraft here. We're going to hit multiplayer. Okay. So we are going to accept the download. Going to use the bed. Going to start the stopwatch. Now we're at 7 seconds. $20 seconds. 21, 22. $35 seconds. Almost there. Woo! 45. 46, 47, 48, 49, 50, 51, 52, 53, 54, 55, 56, 57, 58, 59, 60. Okay, so replay marker added. Disconnect. Is the render thing working now? I don't know. We're making a new source file to run the render off of, basically. And we're not sure if it's going to read out of the cache or not either. Okay, so the idea is we want to go to 21 seconds here and put in a thing, and then at 1 minute, we want 1 minute 21. Yeah, that's good. Okay. Now we need to change our viewing angle here. So it goes like this. We want to have it sweep from here. Oh, actually, because for the test render, we actually only want 10 seconds. So we actually want 21 and 31. And we want that at 10 seconds. Yeah, okay. And then we want to have it look that way. At the 10-second mark, render. Distance A4. This is distance 130 for the record, render. We have a new file that we didn't crash when we created. We're on the Mojang screen now, which we didn't even get last time. That's a good sign. Let's open the task manager and see if something's happening. Okay, right now Java's using 45% of the processor instead of 0. That's a good thing. Okay, we're up to 17 gigs of memory. $17.5 gigs of memory, 20% processor. That's a good sign. Something's chugging along there. Hey, NJ. Do-do, do-do, do-do-do. My goal was to get this fixed so that we could set up the proper, like, render that's going to take forever overnight. To just run overnight. But at this point, my goal is to go to bed at 9:30 at night. When we hit the 1 hour mark, I'm going to go to the kitchen, start the dishwasher. I've got most of the apartment clean since we had family over. And I'm just going to go to bed because I'm hitting a wall here. Like, if the computer doesn't want to play nice, I'm not going to be creative enough to solve this problem if I'm this tired. And I haven't had, like, a solid night's sleep for a while. So... 20% CPU, still using more RAM. The amount of memory used is fluctuating. The amount of GPU used is fluctuating. Whatever it's doing, it's processing something. Looking at the task manager, that's where we want this to be. It has not crashed yet. It might be visually hanging, but it is processing instructions in the background. According to the task manager, you love to see it. Peaking at 20.3% CPU use, 20.6 now. 20.9, woo! You know, I'm going to say, this has been bugging me all day. All day I knew this was a problem, and I was like, I'm going to get in there, and I'm going to solve this in the first 10 minutes of the stream. And then I'm gonna feel good about going to bed content that I have solved a problem. And I'm looking at it now, and I'm like, oh my gosh, we got 12 minutes left in the stream. I really would feel better if we could at least get a test render here. Because if we get the test render to run, then I can set up the longer render. And then go to sleep content. Like, oh, yay, it's working in the background. Needs a progress bar for the progress bar. I'm looking at the CPU usage. It's still using CPU. It's doing something in the background. It's stabilized on precisely the amount of memory it's using, which is either worrisome or it's moving to the next step. Boy. The CPU percentage is fluctuating. The RAM has been completely stable, so it's no longer allocating or deallocating memory. It's just processing stuff in memory. I was more comfortable when the memory amount was fluctuating, I'll be honest. But the CPU is still chugging along at something. I feel like it shouldn't take this long, but maybe I'm just tired. But I mean, we turned it down massively. We set the view distance to 130 chunks, which is way lower than the 172 we ran that other one at. I'm wondering if the corrupt cached files are causing some sort of problem in the background. Frame 1 rendered. We have, now that we got a single frame rendered. Okay, the stuff back there isn't as far as I would like, but I didn't actually go and recache those. So the camera's going to sweep here. To the right. So we definitely need to go recache the ice boat stuff. So where you see the fog in, that's actually where we went as far as the actual render distance. Yep, that's Total Chaos in the background. It's just down the tunnel from us, Mima. Okay, so we're getting the water rendering out to the horizon where it should be beyond Total Chaos. That's good. I am going to have to fly over all of that ice boat stuff again, which is fine. It's good for me to help establish a sense of place on the server in my own brain. But I am a little frustrated to know that that isn't ready for tomorrow. Mooberg says, I feel like I should be putting, like, D&D battle music in the background of this. What is D&D? Background music. I feel like I have that written down somewhere. Okay, somewhere I've got the AD&D. See, I've got Priest Handbook, Paladin's Handbook, Castle Guide, Book of Humanoids, Bard's Handbook, Wizard's Handbook. I feel like there was a thing in one of the early AD&D things where they're like, if you have these classical music records, here's a great classical music album. Here's a record that you could... Yeah, like, play this by Vivaldi when you're interacting with the elves. Play this by Bach during a D&D battle. But I just reorganized all my books. And by reorganized, I mean, like, I moved them from one shelf to another as quickly as possible, and they're not organized yet. I just reshuffled. So, like, any deck of cards that you've reshuffled, it's like, who knows what's on the top? Okay. So the render doesn't seem to have failed. And we've definitely got more stuff in the background there. Alex Bernstein says, now that you've practiced flying the server layout to learn it, would there be some other mechanism to load the chunks faster? I mean, maybe, but in theory, the flying I did the other day should have gone in the cache, and those files are being rejected for some reason only by replay mod, not by Bobby mod while actually flying around now. So if I did, like, get the world download and drop them in, I don't know if those files would be rejected. Like, I don't... This is why this is a troubleshooting stream. Something here is broken in unexpected ways, and I'm trying to fix what I can with what I have in front of me before I start adding outside sources of complexity. Do I think Doc would know? No. I doubt it. Too much data for replay to handle? No. Definitely not. So for some reason, the files that the chunks we cached last night are being rejected by replay mod, whereas the chunks from other days work fine, even though there's way more from the other days. It's something with something we did last night, and I can't figure out what it was, which means I can't avoid doing it again. Right? And that's deeply disconcerting. Amanda says, I thought he used the combination of the two. I'm not saying he doesn't use the combination of the two, but, like... We're operating at a different scale. Like, Doc uses Bobby mod to keep, like, the chunks of the perimeter loaded. We're working with, like, a broader map. If he's like, oh, that's weird, the chunks of the perimeter didn't load, he'll just fly around the perimeter and then fix it. You know, he doesn't have to figure out why 24 minutes of or an hour of flying around the whole server failed, right? That's not his concern. He doesn't use Bobby mod at this view distance. He uses it to render like 20 chunks instead of 16, whereas we're trying to use it to load 170. I'm not trying to criticize you, Amanda. I'm just like letting you know it's like he's not going to be a resource on this. Yeah, this is we are pushing limits so when other hermits want to do this, we can answer their questions. This is pioneering stuff. Yeah, so basically we're pioneering this, and part of the burden there is that there isn't somebody else to ask. Because, like, you don't know, like, oh, is something unique to the HermitCraft world setup? Or is something unique to my computer? Or is something unique to what? You know. Excuse me. Okay. It will be cool when I figure it out, but yeah, it's going to be me figuring it out. through trial and error and troubleshooting. So here we go. Just working on it as best we can. I feel like at this point we're not going to get anything out of rendering the next few frames, but there's only 24 seconds left, so we might as well let it go. And then I'll pull this up full screen for y'all so you can see what it looks like. You can see it's rendering further out to the side of the machine than behind it because we didn't reload those chunks by flying over them back there. The frame rate is nonsense right now, but you can at least see where replay mod is trying to load in the chunks. And beyond those hills past Ethos, it's just giving up because there's nothing in the cache. Or the chunks in the cache there are being discarded. So we need to go fly past that mushroom thing in the birch there to recache those. So the weird thing is when we log back in here, Minecraft is going to think that Minecraft can read the Bobby mod cache of those chunks without replay mod active. So it'll start dropping in data from like out toward the ice biome on its own, but it won't be able to use it in replay mod until we manually fly out there. So we're going to turn this down so we can get a usable frame rate here. Like y'all saw that like there was like a waterfall or something over in this birch thing here where things were failing beyond that. Lytra has some durability. Could be that one specific chunk out this way from that session is causing crashes. Yeah. I mean, really, it might be that if we... This is part of why I split this into multiple segments. I went out in one direction first and recached everything before coming out in this direction to recache everything. So you see these chunks are loading in here of the ice boat stuff. Some of those were in the Bobby cache and saved properly. Some of them weren't, even though we flew over them yesterday. Which is a very strange hodgepodge here. Yep, see, this is all popping right in easily. Like nothing's wrong. Don't know what to think about that. Have a good night, Stephanie. Yeah, these chunks definitely didn't cache properly because we're just getting these loaded in now from the server. That's an interesting problem. Whereas those ones were in there. Huh. Lots going on here. Not sure how much of it matters. But I'm doing my best anyway. Okay, I think if we just go straight this way, we should eventually hit our area. Okay, cool. So there's the scar thing there. Great, great, great. We might need to recache some of this, so this is not bad that we're flying back over all this stuff. Does the cache have a time limit? It shouldn't. Should not. I mean, you can configure one, but I did not keep it enabled, so... Okay. Okay, so from here, we're going to disconnect. Going to go back to this one. Going to hit render on that and see what it does. Oh wait, no, that's not the one we want, is it? No, it's not at all. But we can't exit out of it now. Nope, this is that one from before. Okay. Pause. Oh, dang it, we're going through portals. Pause. Going through portals. Breaks. Replay mod. Exit replay. Wrong replay. We want the one from earlier today. This might be it. No, wait, that's not early enough. The one from much earlier today. The render that didn't work. This one maybe. Yeah. This is the one we want. Okay. This is what we're trying to render for the outro. Obviously, we have the view distance turned down right now. But if we turn the view distance up temporarily... Let's do 145. Done. How far out can we see? Specifically, how far out can we see back here? Does it load in now the things that we just rendered in? There's Ethos base. We need to go well past that. Okay, we got the birch and the mushroom forest loading in on the last render. That's not in dispute. We need to know, can we see beyond the birch and mushroom forest? There was like a hill line that's just starting to pop in now. And does stuff beyond that load in? If it does, we're in good shape. If it doesn't, we've got more problems. And I don't want more problems. It's not what I'm here for. We're going to do last call for tips. We're actually we've run 11 minutes over, but I want to see if this is going to work. We are 20 away from our second face camera expansion milestone. If you are enjoying this exercise in troubleshooting and technical difficulties, tips are welcome via paypal.me/JoeHills and YouTube Super Chat. If this works, if we can see what's beyond that hill, then that means that I can start this render and go to bed and hopefully have an episode soon. We are very close to having an episode. Okay. What is the red line? That's where the camera is going. That's the camera's path. So we loaded as far as we expected to, but can we load beyond that? Is the question. We're at about the minimum. Is Bobby going to load beyond this point? It's promising so far. Okay, it looks like those chunks are being accepted by the cache renderer. These ones over here, no. These ones right here are not being cached or pulled from the cache renderer. So you can see that there's like a clear, like, just break where it's like, but not these. It's not ideal. I would like to see I want to see the ice bolt. Turn this way down. 27. Try something different. Here's the latest one. The most disappointing part of all this is at the end of the stream, I still haven't taken the candelabra apart to put them back in my bedroom, so my bedroom is just going to be dark. It's fine. Okay, so let's test this part. Now, maybe that file because that file was recorded with a broken cache, maybe it's not going to be as willing to load stuff. Well, there's definitely a hole there. But if we go beyond this... Okay. So maybe I just didn't recache this part. Okay. How many rockets we have? Enough. Lay your head down and dream. Lost Cult Music tips 3! Thank you, Lost Cult Music, who says amazing visuals. That puts us 17 away from the next Face Gamer expansion milestone. We've already done last call for tips, so I'm not going to repost the link. But hopefully we'll see some more rolling in. This is supposed to be a 1-hour chill stream, but on some level, I feel like we're so close to having... If the only thing I did wrong was not flying over that area a second time, we can fix that right now. And then I can have that render done. Yeah, see, this is like a distinctly large space here. Like, you want this ridge in your render. This is a notable ridge of establishable height, right? You want the ridge in your render. See, this is another ridge that could have been in the render, but wasn't for some reason. Okay. It's deeply disconcerting that these are loading in from the chunk renderer cache, but not... It's really hard to tell which parts are working and which parts aren't when the live view is feeding me from the cache and the replay mod view fails to. See, here's some more notable cliffs. You might, I don't know, want those in the distance in your render sometimes. Just as a treat. There's these little villages everywhere. Okay. Good enough, maybe. Good enough, maybe. Maybe. So, replay viewer. Lost Cult Music says, I mean, it's chill for us. That was only 3 minutes? Jeez. Did I actually manage to fly over and load these chunks correctly this time? Yes. Yes, I did. There's a huge gap in the middle of... I don't know what I expected. I think it's a different gap. I don't think it was this far. Maybe it is the same gap. Okay, but once I fly over it and it gets the data from the server, what happens then? What happens when we get to... Let's jump forward, but stay in the same place. Does my bedroom not have a light? I've got a whole bunch of candelabras. They're just behind me. Okay. So this is arguably better, although I still apparently did not fly over a chunk in the middle here. So that might look kind of super awkward rendered in the distance. Because that's not very far away from there. That's... It's better, but it's not right. Yeah. I think we landed somewhere over here. Yeah, okay, so generally this... It's like we need to head back this way then. Got some more rockets. I have not confirmed we're going the right way. We might not be. I mean, we're loading new chunks. That has a value. But it doesn't solve the problem of the shot we're trying to get from the pinball machine. We're gonna come out by tangos or something stupid. I have maybe gotten a little lost. But we're still caching new chunks. And that has a value. Do we have a totem in the inventory? Yeah, sure, whatever. Half Moon Knight says, sing for us, Joe. Frère Jacques, dormez-vous, dormez-vous, shamalamatina, shamalamatina, ding dang dong, ding dang dong. Hey, George just tipped 20 who says troubleshooting FTW. Thank you very much, George. That gets us 3 past our next Face Gamer expansion milestone. So here we go. It's time to expand. Joe. I've got the chair a little low. There we go. It's been a long road getting from there to here. It's been a long time, but my time is finally here. I'm gonna use these rockets to kiss the skies with the tongue of my elytra. No, my boots won't hold me back no more. They're like feather falling for lips for this kiss of the sky. Maybe I've got a bit too much saliva. There is the sun. I've flown too close, close to the sky. If anyone knows the coordinates I'm supposed to be flying to, in terms of like raw elytra count, I'm very happy about the number of new chunks that we are cashing in, but I haven't seen Etho's Iceboat Road or Ren's lately at all, and that's deeply disconcerting. These chunks on the right seem to be loaded, so we're not out in the middle of nowhere completely. Oh, that does remind me of Etho and Ren's Iceboat Road. Okay, I feel like we're in good shape now. Okay, this is vaguely recognizable. I think I need to swing this way. I think that'll take me home. Dead reckoning, reckoning deadly, wandering homeward. Will I survive this icy place? Or will it be my icy disgrace? Or my icy grave? Okay, so dead reckoning off the elytras. We're at least back in loaded chunk territory. I'm having mixed feelings about what I'm seeing, though. None of this looks, broadly speaking, what the kids would call familiar. And we're down to 29 rockets. So... do another British accent to spite Cleo. Wait. No, I cleared these icebergs. I cleared that one. That means we need to head this way. I cleared that iceberg a long time ago. I remember that iceberg. He had a brother named Phil. Phil Connors. Well, I believe he was a weatherman in Pittsburgh or something. It's been a while. See these chunks that are popping in and out of existence? I'm wondering if those were somehow corrupted on our fly-through last night and caused the failures we're seeing now. Okay, so the mushroom and not brisket, birch area should be back this way. I think. Yeah, there's that flower island, so... or flower farm, I guess. Okay, we got birch, we got mushrooms. So I believe that means the chunks that we're failing to cache properly, that we need to recache, were these all up in here. That's right, up in here? Yes, up in here. Apparently those chunks had a village and a snowy peak, so I'm kind of glad we did get these, because those would look cool in the backdrop. And having flown through these, I think we can now do a hard turn back here, make sure we get all these chunks in on this side of the river. How are we on elytra? We're okay. We're okay. We're okay. We're okay, Joe Hills. Yeah, we're okay. Okay. I don't remember making that beacon. Somebody else probably made that beacon. Oh, we're by the perimeter. I overshot a little bit this way. I hope that wasn't a different birch forest and mushroom area. I'm looking at it now, and I'm strongly considering that it may indeed have been. No, it's the same one. Yep, this is it. This is the area we need to fly over. We're going to make it, folks. Just glide. Down to get a little bit more angle. Up. Down to get the velocity. Up. Down to get the velocity. Yep. Okay. Cool. And then we will take the river home. When I say take the river home, I mean, like, we are out of rockets, so our trident will be our guide. And always... Did it start raining? It's a miracle. Yay, rain. Woo. Yeah, the weather effects are off at the moment in the renderer to fix the CPU. Okay. So that should end the rain. We're going to disconnect. And we're going to reconnect. And we're going to grab some rockets. Nope, we're going to grab some rockets from down here. Perfectly executed. Okay. So, the question is, from here now, if we look this way, will this actually freaking work? Please. So we're going to stand up on this corner here. Options, video settings. Nope, that's the GUI scale. I was going to say, we don't want to turn the GUI scale up to 120 because that'll cause different problems, as the kids say. Okay. So there's Ethos base loading in. Hey, Prowl Raiders, welcome! We are doing some troubleshooting with replay mod and long distance rendering with the Bobby mod right now. Trying to see how far away we can load chunks in Minecraft successfully. We're currently on the HermitCraft server. We were having some glitches with our Bobby mod rendering before, but thank you, Prowl Raiders, for stopping by. This is looking promising. It seems to be loading the chunks in the distance there successfully. There's some elevation-based gaps, but we're not too concerned with those right now. The frame rate's going to be garbage while we're testing this, and that's okay, because we're testing this for replay mod, where the frame rate doesn't matter, because we can set up a 6-hour 4K render of replay mod. Okay, so the question is, did the chunks over here actually get into the Bobby mod cache successfully? And the answer is unclear, but signs point to yes, actually. Signs point to yes. Okay, that is the best signs point to that we've had. Let's land on a tree. That wasn't a tree. That was not a tree. Bad landing. There we go. We're on a tree now. Not my favorite tree, not the best tree. This tree, much better. I'm going to eat a nice pork chop. And we're going to see the chunks seem to be loading in. So if they're loading in at this distance in multiplayer mode, where we're actually on a server flying around, that says to me they should be loading in replay mod. So, replay viewer, we're going to load this up here. Okay, we're going to pause replay mod. We are going to temporarily turn the view distance way down while we set up our shot. Like 53 chunks. 53 chunks is not very far. But that's okay. We don't need all the chunks right now. We're setting up our shot, okay? So, to set up our shot, we're going to fly this way a bit. We're going to get the whole pinball machine in the shot. And at 0, 0 here, we're going to put that there. Now we're going to jump to the 30-second mark. And we're going to get the entire pinball machine in the shot here, looking this way at 30 seconds. And then we're going to go back to the 15-second mark, and we're going to pull out slightly so that the machine is in the shot. Boom. Next problem. So we're going to go to the 1 minute mark. And we're going to have the whole back of the machine in there. So we're going to fly this way. We want to have the whole back of the machine in the shot here at the 1 minute mark. Boom. We're going to go to the 45-second mark. And we're going to retract our view distance a little bit, just a scotch here. Whoops. Adjust the angle slightly. Make sure the whole thing's in the shot. Boom. Okay, we're going to jump to the 1 minute 30-second mark. And we are going... So the goal is to fly around the pinball machine here and showcase it, right? We want to show the whole pinball machine. Okay. And we want to show everything around it. So we come back to the 115-second mark. And we pull that out so the whole machine is in the frame there. Okay. Then we're going to go to the 2 minute mark. And at the 2 minute mark, we basically want to be back where we were here at the opening. So then at 1:45, we pull the camera out sufficiently to see the whole machine. Boom. So now if we hit, oh, we don't have the time frame set up, but let's see. So this is currently at 106. So we're going to set that to... so that's 0.06. So we're going to have a new time keyframe here at the 2 minute mark. That is 2:06. The tab button is working. If I hit the right button, 200 save. Okay. And then what we're actually going to do is maybe we're going to pull this out actually to 210. Make that 216. We're going to have this overshoot a little bit on the last shot, just to really show something. I don't know. Just want to show the machine a little better. Show the progress we made digging out the machine. So let's zoom in on the dugout portion of the machine a bit here at the end. Okay. Now, if we start rendering this now, we're going to have a problem because we still have our view distance turned way down. So we need to turn our view distance up to something reasonable, like 150 chunks, and hit apply. Now, at this point, we also need to save our keyframes. So flyby. That's not how you spell flyby. we're going to look straight down also so the renderer doesn't thrash on us. Okay, we need to set a file name for this. And luckily, we have a bunch of attempts from before. This is going to be 150 chunk, I think. Is it 4K? Might be. I feel like we're on A5 at this point. Okay, so we're going to set this to 3840 by 2160 to get this, because we're trying to do a long distance 4K render here. So now it's going to hang on this screen for, let's say, 15 to 20 minutes, and then either crash or start running the replay mod with the 150 chunk distance. The best we've gotten is 172 chunks. So basically at this point, all that's left for me to do... Wow, that looks like it crashed already. Don't love that. What I need to do is I need to go start my dishwasher and then see if this thing has actually crashed in a few minutes after doing that. Maybe, I don't know, move some laundry along, that sort of thing. So in the meantime, I'm not going to keep y'all here. I'm going to see who else is streaming out there on the broader world of Twitch this fine Sunday evening. Okay, let's see. No, wait, that's not Minecraft. I was very excited briefly. I thought something was going on. Ooh, it looks like Frosty Plum, who actually made my Groundhog Day cross-stitch, the one that says, in this house, we follow Groundhog Day rules. Frosty Plum is playing Beacon. I don't know what Beacon is, other than it's a roguelike. I was watching Frosty Plum play it the other night. It looked interesting. So we're going to go ahead and hit /raid Frosty Plum. When you get over there, our raid message is, howdy y'all, Joe Hill's raid here. Make sure I didn't miss any last-minute tips. Nope, we are all good on that. I'll go ahead and post the Twitch link to everybody in the YouTube chat since we're on multiple chats here. So thank you again, Raiders, for stopping by. Sorry that this wasn't a very busy stream in terms of gameplay, but we're troubleshooting. This is a troubleshooting stream. That's why it still says setting up stream up there. And why I still have so many candelabras in the room. If I hit the button to turn them on and off, no, it doesn't matter. Yeah, they're not bright enough to overpower the overhead lamp. What about now? Yeah, you can kind of see them. I turn the candles on and off. Yay, remote control candles. Welcome to the future. If you're writing sci-fi, just be like, I don't know, in the future, there's wax on Bluetooth. Because why not? I don't know. What if shoelaces had flashlights? Okay, next problem. Anyway, when you get over there, say hi to Frosty Plum. Howdy y'all, Joe Hills right here. Playing Beacon, a sci-fi roguelike. Until next time, y'all, this has been Joe Hills from Nashville, Tennessee. Keep adventuring. Do-do-do-do. Stop streaming. Stop in the stream.